We're living in uncertain times, and they're times that are trying the patience of many. As we try to understand the orders and advice we're getting from public health officers, as we try to make sense out of those for our daily lives, and as we try to do the right thing to protect our friends and our family, and we worry about the state of our economy and our social systems, I think it's important that we default to the simple. We try and make sense out of all of this complexity by just simply getting a recipe together for the things that we need to do to play our part in getting us through this COVID pandemic as quickly and as safely as possible and with the least amount of impact. And really, that recipe is quite simple. Wash our hands thoroughly and often, wear a mask in public spaces and keep our social distance, keep our bubbles small, and don't travel if we don't have to. And if we do present with any kinds of symptoms, to self-isolate, to not go into work, to not go into public spaces. If all of us did that, if all of us had discipline with that, then we wouldn't be seeing the spike that we're seeing, and we wouldn't be in the situation where we have this uncertain future and this long potential time period of dealing with this pandemic. And so staying with those simple messages, I think, is important for all of us. As a council, like many of you in your households, we still have to plan ahead. We still have a budget that we have to prepare. We still have to try and prepare for a future post-COVID while we deal with COVID. Our budget situation was helped greatly by the provincial government. This provincial government gave the City of Quesnel a $2.5 million grant to help us with our lost revenue due to COVID, to help us with the increased costs that we've incurred, and to try and keep things open and going even though the revenue flow may not be there. For example, our recreation facilities. And also to give us some tools to be able to upgrade our technology without doing that at our local taxpayer expense, and to help individuals who are in the vulnerable populations in our community. That $2.5 million is going to go a long way to giving some relief to our taxation burden going forward if we had to cover all of those costs just with property taxation alone. Our Finance Committee will now be putting that $2.5 million into our budget, and we'll be reporting that out over the coming months. Our Business Roundtable, our team, is going to be reaching out to our business community again. There are new programs available federally and provincially, and that team made up of the City of Quesnel, all of our business associations, the Chamber of Commerce, and Community Futures of the North Cariboo will be getting in touch with all of our registered businesses throughout the North Cariboo to make sure they're aware of the programs and where and when they need help to give them some of that help to access those programs. And we also continue to work with our not-for-profit sector. We need to continue to understand the implications of the COVID pandemic and the restrictions on their activities, on their fundraising, and on the kinds of programs that they're delivering in our community. And in particular, we're quite concerned about not having good cheer hampers this year, and we're working with a large donor in the community who's looking for organizations that can help to backfill that program. We're doing what we can in this time, and we're also still looking ahead. We are a community in transition, and we have not lost sight of that. We need to continue to plan forward to make sure that our economy is robust as it can be as we go through this transition period. As my mom always said to us as we were growing up, this too shall pass. This COVID pandemic will pass. We'll come through it as a community, and we'll come through it strongly. We will come through it quicker if all of us just simply adhere to the simple recipe we're being given to keep each of us healthy and to protect our loved ones.